Sometimes
there we go.
We're live. If people only know what happens behind the scenes.
There we go.
We're here.
We're just giving direction to the guys while we do our little online experiment here. So the guys will jump back in the room and we'll relinquish command to the race room when we're out of here.
Yeah, log it up. We don't really spend any time in here. This is just a vacation for us right now to be in here. We're usually out in the shop all day, every day. Busy, lots going on, lots of people doing things. So.
And I'm over here in the swamp on the other side of the world. We're down south.
Yeah, down south where the alligators are. But Eddie was just telling me they found 22 alligators in Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania, it's
really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just reading that. Talking about total useless stuff.
Yeah, we'll talk about random stuff till we get more followers on here.
Yeah.
I can't see that. All I see is
yeah, neither can I.
Yeah, usually I have this.
I guess if I make it smaller, but
there you go.
Hey,
there we go. We got something.
Good morning.
Oh, see, it's popping up. That's right. It does. It pops up on the bottom.
See, Vance and Hines, our mothership is in California, so it's good morning to them out there. But us racers
I've already had lunch
at the RDC here. We're past lunchtime. And Angelle's and just passing.
I'm right at lunch, 12 o'clock. Yeah.
Talking to you from all over the country.
Good afternoon from Minnesota.
Minnesota.
I'm wondering how
Minnesota A. Come on.
Is it warm in Minnesota? How is it in Indianapolis right now? Because it is hell.
It's hot. It's been 90. It was all last week. It was like, I think it was 93 on Friday.
It was
Saturday was like 91.
Lots of humidity. I'm sure it's hot as Hades down by you.
Well,
hey, you got a new air conditioner though.
Yeah, thank goodness. We have cool air again.
Las Vegas.
I got
cousins that live in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
I know it's like 117 degrees out there right now.
Yeah,
so.
they were talking about that. I heard that on the news this morning. 117.
There's Jennifer. Hi, friend.
Hello.
Oh, they're getting on now. Oakdale, California. Chris. I saw Randy.
We're gonna pick up all 60,000 of your followers here in a minute.
Plus, we finally had the opportunity to promote it a little bit. You know, we planned ahead and got this going, and
Malta. That's a cool bike in this photo.
Have the opportunity to BS online with some friends and people and everybody else. I mean, good opportunity without having a race in like 6 years now.
Yeah. It seems like forever since our last race at Charlotte.
Yeah, it's
hard to believe the last time we all went down the track was like 5 weeks ago.
I know.
It feels like a whole other off season.
I forgot what you guys look like.
It's probably a good thing.
Yeah, and then we'll get the opportunity here coming up. I guess we could start like BSing a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, I mean.
Maddie just asked, what does downtime look like for the race team?
Yeah, so, I mean, downtime looks like that.
Right there. See that? We're working on my front brakes. My bike only went 202 last race, and his bike went 203. So we're trying to figure out why. And Angelle Suzuki.
My bike only went 202. Shoot, I went 202. That was 202.
You're the slowest one of the team now.
I'm just glad I'm in the 200. I feel totally left out now.
Well, you remember you called me before Charlotte, and you're like, I want to go 200 again. I said, it's there. Just ride the thing. And you did. So that run you made. I was looking back at a lot of data and a lot of mental memory bank and thinking, okay, how was this run compared to everything she's ridden on our team? And I think that by far was your best run on our team, period. You know, I looked at the shift points and it went nice and straight, didn't pick up any tire temp, and it was good. So got nailed down the fastest pass for a pro stock Suzuki out there at 202. It could be a while for a Suzuki breaks that mark again. I
see Brad's asking, how's everything now? So how's everything now? You're running Suzukis instead of Harleys. My opinion, love the Harleys better. Well, of course, Andrew and Eddie are still on V twins. They're on the Vance Hines V twin. I'm the only one on the Suzuki, but it's I feel like I'm back to my roots. I love the Suzuki. I did really, really enjoy the Harley and the V twin. It was a big challenge for me. It's the hardest motorcycle I've ever ridden. The Suzuki is a little easier, but I'm still not where I need to be with riding it. Very, very close. Like Andrew just said, I had a much better pass in that last run I made. But the differences are huge as far as RPMs and shift points and just the feel of the motorcycle. I think one of the things I was doing in the beginning, and I'm getting better at it now, is overcorrecting or not correcting correctly. So I'm getting that better. But I enjoy being back in the Suzuki. I'd love to hear what Andrew has to say about tuning it, though, because he gets to do both. It's got to be confusing from tuning the Suzuki to tuning your V-twin.
Well, probably the biggest thing that's confusing right now is sometimes in your bike we run a 6-speed and sometimes we run a 5-speed. So it's tougher for you because you're not sure what transmission you get from weekend to weekend, depending on what we're trying for some R&D stuff. But that's probably the biggest mistake I made tuning her bike in Charlotte is that last run. Even though it had a 5-speed in it, it was tuned like a 6-speed. So it kind of did some different stuff down track with fuel and timing than it was supposed to. And
you learn, you get educated every run. I mean, it's
now I'll be
in essence, it's not that hard
Yeah.
to tune it. I don't think it changes the motors of motors.
It's a lot more data to look at. I mean, for more than 15 years, we've been staring at data from 2 cylinders, and now all of a sudden we got to look at a 4-cylinder graph again. So, comparing exhaust gas temperatures and O2 sensors and keeping everything happy with timing across all 4 cylinders. It just it's more time consuming, but it's not harder by any means. It's just a giant air pump that turns over with gasoline.
By the way we tune things, you're tuning each cylinder, so it's like you have to pay attention to what every cylinder is doing. And you make a change to cylinder number 1, it is going to change what number 3, number 2, and number 4 do, no matter what.
Yep.
So it's about trying to get your trims, offsets, and everything right.
And probably the other big thing.
I'd say we had a good starting point.
Yeah.
We knew where we needed to be.
Eddie got to ride the Suzuki as well, so he's done both this season. What did you think about the differences and how it felt?
I think they're.
He said the Suzuki's boring.
I'm trying. Yeah, I was gonna just say that. I think they're actually both boring to ride now. It sounds crazy to say, but
we switched over to the Buell bodies on our V-twins.
Yeah, and you have this fairing and you have everything around you, and truthfully, it's like cheating. It's like cheating, having arrow, and understanding. And what I mean by that is it allows you to make a not perfect run and it not be nowhere near as affected. And what I mean by that is when you go like this on our old bikes and our head went 1 inch outside of the fairing, picture a bubble. That's probably the best way to explain it is there's a bubble around you and there's an air barrier. And as you get closer to where you are behind your windscreen, it creates this whole shield. And now with this big windscreen, big fairing, big body, I mean, the Suzuki literally is quiet. You don't even hear a thing. These things are almost as quiet as that. And beforehand, what I mean by quiet is you'd hear air, you'd feel the pressure on your helmet.
Yeah.
And for me, Andrews was affected by it more because just our helmet alone would be a huge impact.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be how hard the air would hit it in the front. I switched to a different helmet a couple of years ago, Stilo. And when I switched, you could feel the difference of pressure on your head. And it was just because the one that I was riding with for years, the Bell was no longer available. They weren't made anymore. Yep. And it makes a huge difference. But they're both boring. Even going 203. That's what everybody asks. How fast can you tell? No, I can tell when I'm going to shut down.
Yeah.
That is exactly. That's the hard part.
It's like you shut it off and you go to grab the brakes and you're like, okay,
I'm going faster.
Moving.
Yeah, I got to that point, a quarter second quicker than I should have. So it all makes a difference. And arrow is bolted to the bike every single run, so it's something you don't have to tune for. So with making the change to that bodywork on the V-twins especially, it made a big difference.
Yeah, the big thing for us really on the V-twins, I'd say me and Andrew, we have horsepower. We know how to tune the engines. We know how to do that. We just don't know how to tune the chassis and the clutch right this moment to get it into the window. I mean, last 20 years on this motorcycle has been somewhere different.
Yeah.
Now our body position has changed. Our body placement has changed. We've moved a little bit more on the motorcycle, moved further forward on the motorcycle, moved some stuff around, and it's really jacked with our whole setup. That is the inconsistency that I'd say we're both fighting with, and we'll figure it out. It's just going to take a little bit of time. We're going to have the opportunity here to test next week, go to the track, make a couple runs, and I think get our stuff closer and start figuring out the right direction, because here we are getting ready to roll into the hot nasty, sticky tracks.
Hot.
I'm going to Norwalk.
But you know what?
Basically, the first week of July.
Norwalk has dollar ice cream, a pound of dollar ice cream for $1. So even if it's hot, we'll go cool off somewhere.
Yeah, the Bader family for sure. I mean, and we didn't have the opportunity to race there last year. The greatest thing for me for 2021 right now is the fact of normalcy. Yep. It's like kind of going back to what it was. And what I mean by what it was,
it's almost strange to not wear a mask around now.
I do. I felt so awkward. I walked into the store over the weekend and I went in and I was like,
you're scanning all the front doors to see if they have a mask mandatory sign. Yeah. But anyway, Robin wants to know how long we've been racing. So I'll go first because I'm probably the least amount of time. But I started professionally in 2002, so nearly 20 years now. That's all been NHRA racing. I didn't do really anything else besides NHRA. It was just having fun on dirt bikes in the woods growing up, ripping around on dirt bikes and four-wheelers and things like that. And didn't develop any bad habits racing any other sportsman motorcycles or things like that. Just pro stock.
Kind of where I came from
is all I've known.
Yeah, I started in the early '90s and started mid '90s, '95 or so on my street bike. And for me, it was growing up at a drag strip, working at a drag strip, doing everything at the drag strip. So it's kind of all I knew. And went professional back in pretty much same year as Andrew, going 2002, 2003.
He was going to try and go supercross and motocross racing, but when he was like 16 and Bubba Stewart passed him when he was like 12 years old, he said, that's enough of that.
Yeah, I learned real quick, practice riding at the practice track with him. I mean, I'll be truthful, supercross is probably my passion.
We still watch it every weekend. It's on. You know?
I'm a diehard supercross guy. For us, I actually have in my opinion, like the greatest side of the job because I get to work with a lot of the teams. Not a lot of people know that here at Vance Hines, what we do at the RDC Center in Indy, we kind of specialize in the cylinder heads. I'd say that's our number one forte. If I had to say one thing about the company and the racing side of things that people don't really know, we're not just a race team. We do cylinder head work for, supercross, road racing, drag racing, sand drags. Go down the list. It's all of them. Super stock, cars. Only thing we've even worked on top fuel stuff.
Mini sprint dirt cars.
Yeah, mini sprint dirt cars. Everything. So it's kind of really cool to work in that end of the department and kind of be involved in that whole side of the program and work on growing business. That's what Andrew and I do every day. We work here in the shop and we're involved and with daily operations here. So
that's where we can tie professional racing back into that side of the business. Valve technology, chamber work, piston shapes, things like that. They all go back into supplying the customers with our leading horsepower at Vance Hines.
Yeah, pro stock technology for sure falls into everything we do in that cylinder head department, all the way to the valve job. Like you said, chamber. We do have customers that we work with to design a lot of parts and pieces. So.
Hey, Angelle, how long you been racing?
Hold on. This is only a 25-minute show, so I know.
I was waiting for Eddie to talk about
Socrates of
I started racing when I was 6 years old on dirt bikes, so I was into the whole dirt bike supercross thing too. And 1996 is when I debuted into the NHRA. So I don't want to hear it, Eddie. Shut your mouth because you're not that much younger than me.
Denver of 96. Tell him Denver of
96. I was 13.
Okay. So,
that's
on the border of that one went away.
Is there any difference with the 4-valve engine? Chris is asking. Of course, it's got over a 2-valve. It's got 2 more valves.
He's got a picture with Gianna, who is going to be.
Oh yeah,
taking ownership of a 4-valve.
Yeah, Gianna Scrappers team's going to be doing that. They had a good weekend this weekend. Mike went all the way to the final.
Yep.
But yeah, for sure, there's a difference. It changes the whole power band, the whole curve. Just imagine a horsepower graph that usually went like this, that gets a hump in it now, and then runs over. Average horsepower stays at a greater performance number.
Yeah. Well, the Suzuki wants to wheelie till 4th gear now, if that's any obvious change there. They used to, most of those bikes would have the bike on the front tire on the ground in 2nd gear, maybe bottom of 3rd. But Angelle's bike, even with all the weight on the front end, it's it's trying to go 164 plus 165 miles an hour to 8th mile in 4.2 seconds. So it's trying to throw her off the back. I think she likes it. Even as she's gritting her teeth over there, she hears the numbers and thinks, "Oh, what do I ride?"
What I'm doing. You know, the scariest thing for me with what we do is to watch the bikes come through the finish line. I don't like to be down there and see how fast we're actually going. I just rather not know that.
Yeah, see, that's what got me hooked. That's what got me hooked, was watching a bike.
When I'm down there after the run, and if Scott stops, anywhere near the finish line, and you guys start coming flying through, I'm like, let's go, Scott. I don't need to see this. I just don't want to know what I'm doing.
For me, it's not actually going down the track as the adrenaline rush. It literally, like, it's shutting the bike down. It's slowing down. That's where the whole rush comes into it.
Yeah.
It's an amazing feeling to pop the clutch, go through the first 2 gears, and then, all right, it kind of goes away. But then when you go and you're like, okay, coming on the stripe, I mean, for us, Andrew and I'd say we try to shut off at within 50 feet of that finish line as soon as we cross it.
Usually,
most of the time, it's shut off before the finish
usually
line.
You're sliding the tire across the finish line.
Yeah, I mean, for me and him, we're kind of chopping the gas as it's going across the stripe. And there's been many times you actually could watch TV coverage where you'll start seeing us rolling off as we're getting to the finish line. So, no, we're not sandbagging. It cuts out a thousandth of a second if that's the case. But basically the way that works is we try not to flare the motor, because as you go right through the finish line, I mean, we're turning our stuff 11,000 RPM on a V-twin. And when you go through that finish line, it wants to break the tire free, because now you're coming off the glue, you're coming off everything. So we're in that unsafe zone, unhappy zone of where it likes to shut off. Rev limiters, we don't need no stinking rev limiters.
Turn it out of the way.
Yeah, make sure it's gone. That's the best thing.
It's only there in case you have a transmission problem or something like that. Chain comes off, which is never a good thing.
Yeah. Well, then it sees about 11.8 and then 12. Well, we've probably seen 12.5 once or twice.
Yeah.
Probably not good. But anyway.
Not quite 14,000 like a Suzuki, but.
Are you going to be at Norwalk? Wendy's asking. Yes, we are.
Yes, we will.
We just talked about that. We're excited to go there.
The only negative about Norwalk is the shutdown short.
For sure.
So that's where you just let it decel an engine a lot further. Angelle, just don't pull the clutch in.
Yeah.
Run it down on motor.
It's an interesting track. They have an airport runway that is perpendicular to the drag strip at the end of the facility. So they couldn't make the shutdown any longer because FAA has control over that property down there. So unfortunately, there's been a few motorcycles and cars that have ventured across, not quite the runway, because it's like
the cornhole, as we call it.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Angie.
Yeah, happy birthday, Angie. That was where I was waiting to go. But Drew, have you made your debut?
I did not make my debut on a Harley. I actually ran a Pro Stock Suzuki for 7 races in 2002 alongside my brother, Matt. We were running Suzukis out of his trailer when he was sponsored by Eagle One. And I think my career best at the time was a 716. That's kind of aging the class a little bit there. And I think Angelle was probably running 7.0s that weekend, or close to 7.0s. I guess it wouldn't have been 7.0s yet.
I think it was 17.
711s or something like that. That was in Sonoma in 2002.
What was it? The first O was, I think, Englishtown.
It might have been O's, because the first O was in Reading in 01. That was when Matt did it.
The 09. The 09. But then I think the following year, that's when everybody, I think Angelle set the record like 704 or something like that.
Yep.
I love how y'all remember this stuff, and I have no.
It was like misty out that day. I know because I worked there.
I don't even remember
that year. You're talking about Reading?
Yeah, no, Englishtown.
Oh, Englishtown.
That was the year. It was like misty out. It was all hazy, and man, it was fast, but it was pretty cool to watch.
Somebody talking about St. Louis. No, we will not be in St. Louis this year.
Yeah. That's kind of a bummer, because it's only 3 hours from our shop, so it was easy just to hop in a car and drive over there for the event that weekend, and we'd have a few people from the shop, follow us over there and go watch some racing. But the NHRA kind of jumbles our schedule around for the motorcycles. We don't run every national event that's on the full circuit, so the bikes are, as a class, run 16 events, and lately there's been between 22 and 24 national events per year. So they kind of move us around.
We usually ask for it. We ask for about 2 new venues per year.
Yeah, like last year in 2020, had it gone off like normal, we were going to run Seattle as a class and run the entire Western Swing with Denver, Sonoma, and then Seattle. But
well, we are this year.
COVID happened. No, Seattle's, well, yeah, we're going to run the whole Western Sweep. It's just, they threw Pomona around, and, you got to jumble stuff around to make track owners and operators happy so they can get people in the stands and sell tickets and make sure our smiling faces are out there,
going to new markets. Yeah, I mean, it's honestly about you fans.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
And it's nice going back to the tracks now. Last year was very strange, wearing masks everywhere and not having fans, or some any fans and some very, very, very limited
Monica
fans.
just said that. Nice to see tracks with fans in the stands.
Yeah. So
and for us racers, I would say you don't really. It's a crazy thing. You put your helmet on, the bike starts. Nobody has any recollection of what is, people sitting in the stands.
Oh yeah, I couldn't tell you who's in the stands when I got my helmet on.
But I will tell you, I noticed that more last year, that there was nobody in the stands. It really felt weird. Even more so, it just didn't feel like you're racing.
Mm-hmm.
So, have we ever considered land speed racing?
Us ourselves?
Well, I'll tell you, I don't know if my brain's programmed to hold the throttle wide open longer than 7 seconds.
That just sounds like engine abuse.
Yeah, I've done stuff in on the street where you're doing 150, 180 on a street bike or something like that, and it's like you're holding it, and it's not me. We support a good couple people that do land speed stuff. There's Shane Stubbs who run STI Performance. Shane Stubbs there. He's gone 272, I think it was, on a bike, turbo bike, and that's pretty dumb. Shane, not smart. But it's really cool. I think it's definitely a tall.
Oh, what do you think, Angel? What about land speed racing?
Would you do it?
I mean, I'd try it.
You're small. We can make that thing aero with you on it.
Yeah, I've never even been on the stop flats before.
We can't even get her to hold the damn throttle open for 7 seconds.
Yeah, that's because I don't have any place to slow down. I mean, if I got 3 miles to slow down, I'll hold the throttle forever.
Oh, man.
I don't want to
experience it. That's what we need, is an invite to come out to Bonneville. Have some drag racers go out there and
just want to see it.
Try some crazy stuff.
That's my bucket list. Like, I really want to go out there one day and spend the weekend and kind of do that deal, and go.
Oh,
next question.
Reed with Brad wants to know.
Oh,
the name of your.
We won't discuss that.
Why? He wants to know, or haven't you named it yet? Because they won't. They told me that I couldn't name my motorcycle. I don't know why, but
it gets too personal then.
It's personal.
Yeah.
Beauty, but Andrew likes to call her Ugly Betty.
I won't say what I do, but what I call it.
Mad, but
we'll just leave it.
We name the engines. The names are Alpha and Bravo. If that's unique enough.
No, my daughters love the movie Black Beauty, and she's all black and she's beautiful, so I call her Beauty.
Yeah, I just call her Ugly Betty because some of the vinyl's starting to peel off already. We got to get it touched up a little bit. It's got some blemishes here and there, so deep down inside, she's raring to go, but maybe not the best thing on the outside right now. Silver Dollar Raceway.
Yeah, that's an old one. That's where I started. That's where I used to practice and test. I'm still racing there. Oh, yeah. I'm trying to decide on that. This will be going when we get to Ohio.
You should just cut it all off. Just cut it off.
What about that too? Just go.
Air's overrated.
Yeah.
Mine's been like this for a while, so anybody can pick on me. It's not receding. It's just been like that for the last 20 years. You look at my 15-year-old pictures, they're like this. But
hey, Brad, you might have more insight into Virginia than we do, since you're probably there more than often than us. We haven't heard anything about Virginia being rescheduled yet.
I'd love to, the Tommy Franklin and those guys that bought that facility and did that. I mean, that track is probably the smoothest track.
It is. It's like racing on a pool table.
Yeah, it's probably the smoothest track that you're ever going to get. And the great thing is it stays really good all day. I mean, Andrew and I were knocking off 104, 105, 60 foots there 2-3 years ago, going back to back to back in the hot sessions, everything. I mean, it's just a killer facility.
Yeah.
I wish we could go back there.
Some of the tracks that we've raced on in the past, you think they're smooth and flat. and there's no problem to navigate down. But that first few runs I made at Richmond, the very first year we raced there again, since NHRA's gone there and come back and gone there and come back 3 times. But the latest resurface they did, man, it's phenomenal.
Yeah,
it's like racing on a piece of granite.
Killer. Tyler doing the track management side and keeping the track freaking perfect. So field competition is better now that now. Right.
Yeah, I mean, weekend to weekend, you just got to focus on qualifying. I mean, there's a ton of motorcycles across the country that are primed and ready to go out there and hurt somebody's feelings on race day. So you got to get it in the field solid. And
despite what everybody thinks, you go back to the last 3 years, competition was really tight over the last 3 years. There was no runaway person in the last 3 years. I mean, just look at the results. Look at qualifying. Look at winner and runner up. You can't fault anybody for being on their game. And I mean, that's about the only way that you're winning a race nowadays. And I mean, there's certain guys that are doing it consistently. And I think that's what brings the attention to them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we've probably got 5 more minutes and then we'll sign off here, but
really, we're only doing 30. Thought we were doing an hour.
What?
I'm getting text messages from my trainer right now. She wants to know if I saw her comment, but I couldn't see it.
Is weigh-in with or without driver and bike? It is with driver and bike. It's a more level playing field. When we're working with thousandths of a second, you can't just have a motorcycle that weighs 400 pounds. You have to have the rider included in it as well. Otherwise, there's going to be smaller than horse jockeys on all these bikes. If that were the case, then we'd all be obsolete.
Yeah, everybody.
It wouldn't be fair for Andrew and me to run each other. What is your favorite workout?
Squats.
I was going to say my trainer would tell you legs, since she makes us do it 18 times a week. But I don't really have one. I hate to run. Andrew loves to run, apparently.
I love running.
I hate it. Hate running. Probably shoulders, arms is what I like to do.
Shoulders like boulders.
I like shoulders, and I have to be strong so I can punch Eddie in the throat.
Eddie's over here thinking these two are talking about working out, and he's just worried about finding the next donut.
That was what I was going to say. So the next time he tries to make me eat donuts, I can handle him. So, sweet calm guy.
Who's the sweet corn guy?
Oh, sweet corn guy. Oh, yeah. I remember him.
Top fuel twins versus 4 cylinders like Larry McBride. I'd say I'm coming for top fuel Harley at the next race. I'm going to out-qualify all of them. And then
on this bike?
On this bike. And then I honestly think everybody that rides a top fuel bike is stupid, crazy, out of their mind, insane, including Larry McBride, including Eric. No, I have a lot of respect for those guys. Anybody that,
I've seen them both blow up really, really bad. I'm not too keen on strapping on a bulletproof vest.
That's what I was going to just, anybody that has to wear a bulletproof vest to work, except for a police officer or somebody in the services, is
military.
Out of their mind.
Look, there she says, "Hey, Angel." Okay, let me comment on this real quick. See how cute Angel? Because she makes fun of you guys for calling me Angel.
It's Angelle. It's Angelle.
Yeah, my name is Angelle.
Yes.
So now, every day when I walk in the gym, my trainer yells at the gym, "Hey, Angel," because she thinks it's funny.
It's Angel.
Well, now I just blend them together. Now it's Angelle.
Yeah.
It's Angelle.
So,
thoughts on Southern Nationals with the closing of the track and commerce?
Stinks. Anytime you lose a drag strip, it is not good.
Yeah, we were just talking about this the other day at lunch. Is you get people that move out, out in the suburbs or way out in the rural country fields, and they're trying to get away from downtown populations and things, and that's where all these drag strips were built years and years ago. Was way out. That way, people had a place to go to, and they weren't. Unless you were racing at the Southern California tracks and things like that.
Yeah.
But even Southern California back then was not as nearly as on top of each other as they are now. But it's just to the problem that, people are these neighborhoods are invading the drag strips, and it's just it's tough. You know,
It's farmland that's getting chewed up every time.
I mean, I'm 2 miles away from Lucas Oil Raceway, and I could hear the cars on Wednesday nights, and I'm not complaining about it. You hear the cars. It's cool. It's what I grew up doing. If you're going to move into an area near, when you move, you should research your area, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
So know where a drag strip is and know where everything else is. You're not going to move right next to an airport, probably. So.
that's been my big push when I get interviewed is like, hey, people, support your local racetracks. It doesn't matter whether it's drag racing, circle track, whatever it is. Support all your racing facilities because right now,
go have fun watching the events. Don't complain about
exactly. Just go and enjoy yourself. Get out as a family. Will NHRA make any rule changes to allow different or newer bikes in pro stock? You know, I think we're trying to modernize it. The problem is with the category itself is the development costs that it takes to get from production to race bike. I mean, there is no production bike right now that literally you could take and make all these changes to and be competitive with an engine pack.
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen.
The Suzuki platform right now, they're still using the stock GS cases, but those are few and far between and probably won't be produced anymore. So that's going to become a problem here in a real hurry. But every other piece on the Suzuki engine is a billet part made here at Vance Hines.
Yeah,
or other guys make parts too. But we, you know, all the engines we produce.
Yeah, I mean, billet cases
parts.
are coming. They're coming down the line, which will turn it into a universal engine eventually. But I think what you're going to see happen is right now with all the new stuff, everybody keeps trying to whittle the weight out of it, make it as small as possible. And there's two things that determine really your power is going to be bore size and valve size.
Yep.
If you can't put a big enough valve in that bore with the bore centers of where they are, you're not going to get.
Yep.
You're not going to make it.
Or you're going to run into durability problems with the case. NHRA making Pomona part of the Western Swing. Let's go. It's even though it's going to be hot, you know.
Yeah.
Just want to race.
Yeah. Throw every race you can at us. We'll go.
Just want to race.
It's fun to go fast.
I really wanted to go to Seattle though. Wanted to see.
Yeah, that's on my list. We get to go to Bristol this year, which I've never been to Bristol ever. Not even when Matt raced or when you were out there racing there 20 years ago. So it'd be cool to see the Thunder Valley. You know, I've watched it all on TV.
When we were talking about racetracks a minute ago, one of the things I wanted to say is how crazy the location of the Reading racetrack is. That one, you know, I remember driving there and going through the little curvy roads and all the beautiful houses, and then bam, there's a racetrack.
Yep, right in the middle of Amish country.
Yeah, so if you guys haven't been to that track before, that's
Sit in the lanes, you look up and there's like 20 Amish kids sitting there.
Yeah, they're
the trees.
on the hill outside the track watching the drag race.
Yeah.
So, well, I guess we could probably start wrapping things up. You got any closing things that you want to say? Angelle?
Angelle, yeah, someone just said that they finally learned how to say my name. So I guess I should have started teaching people 25 years ago because Angelle seems to be the thing that everybody calls me. But no, other than I miss you.
No, we call you other things.
I miss you too, Eddie. And I miss my motorcycle so bad.
Can you see it back there?
Y'all get to see them every day. You don't know how lucky you are.
See it all three in a row?
I see her. I see my beauty. Oh, so one thing is, I know a lot of people don't know if they haven't ever seen your tour of the shop. The room that Eddie and Andrew are sitting in right now is no one's usually allowed in there. The first time I ever walked into that room, I was very nervous. I didn't think I was supposed to be in there.
That's where the chassis are built.
Yep.
Fab room, fab area.
There's a big sign on the door that says "Do not enter." So
that's where the other guys sit, engineering spots, things like that. Got all our Matco tools, obviously.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool that y'all are going live from the big top secret race room.
Well, see, the problem is we've done lots of things from this room, but people just don't know it is that room. So it was like nobody had an understanding, and it was like, what is that? You know, it's got two little glass windows up front here, and that's about it. And it's like, man, what goes on in there? Oh, I can't tell you. And then you take them through another, like this place has so many entry points through certain areas.
You could get somebody lost in here.
Yeah, you could you take them, loop them around, be like, oh, you can't go in there, and then bring them in through a different door. And they don't even know that they came in the room that says do not enter.
That's funny. Well, I heard the bell go off, so I think y'all got a package.
Yeah. UPS.
Yeah.
FedEx.
All right. Well, we'll be on the track again. T minus 10, 11
12
days.
days, yeah,
something like
11,
that.
11
So
days.
you're heading off to Norwalk, Ohio, and go blast our 3 motorcycles.
Last thing you said, I will not be there, so they will.
We're going to be here
yeah
at Lucas Oil Raceway. Team Scrappers, Gianna and family. They're renting the facility and invited a few teams out there to partake in the excitement of racing with no pressure.
Yeah. So have the opportunity to go play around a little bit and go sort out some bikes. I mean, Andrew and I will probably be tuning on some stuff that week too. So
you're gonna ride mine, or is she's gonna stay?
Maybe we might. Haven't decided yet. Just never know.
Just let me know how she
But
does.
we appreciate all you fans, everybody signing on, partaking in our whole deal, and sending us notes, messages, questions.
That's what keeps us going. Got to have the questions, especially me.
Or we sit here and start insulting each other, I'm sure.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for signing on, and see you later.
All right, y'all. Let me know how it goes next week if I don't talk to you before then.
I will talk to you.
Talk to you later.
All right. See ya.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye. I got to figure out how to hang up now.